What is up, everybody? This is O-Artistry, and welcome back to... My word, that was a really dark kind of voiceover there, but I think that was zones. Now, obviously, we have the terms of use. Now, we're not going to read the terms of the use. Let's be all very, very clear here. And there's the game currency usage. Now, I'm not sure how long this video is going to be, but I thought it'd be interesting to have a kind of a delve into the crystal situation. Let's have a look at it. We'll look through it together. We'll see what it's like. And we'll put some thoughts on it, because obviously I shared a lot of my thoughts already. So changes to purchase method obviously is today. So as outlined in recent notification, we've implemented the following. So obviously the before was you could just buy things. So now we can no longer just buy things. You have to purchase crystals and then use the crystals to purchase stuff. So like I said with Pokemon Go, it's like you buy using your money, the coins, and then you use the coins to buy your actual products that you want to buy. So obviously there is they've established a revised terms of use and everything, so we can look at the befores. You can still look at the afters, so if you do want to read it, you can do that. And they do have put on a sale. Obviously they're going to put a sale on. Now, as you can see here, we now officially have, because it's the Kyber Corporation Cup, we finished the event with the Duelist Road. We managed to get everything that I wanted, multiple copies of everything and stuff. So
Duelists worldwide.
Duelists worldwide. Hi, Seto Kyber. Are you going to help me get to Kyoto in Japan?
The KC Cup Duel Tournament will now begin.
Woo! There's only one requirement to enter. You must reach stage 6 or higher. This Kyber Corp is the precursor to the ultimate duel tournament to crown the world champion. The top finishers in this KC Cup will be seeded in the tournament. So duelists worldwide, strategize, duel, and win. It's okay, I'll finish the rest of your lines for you. But here we go! Kyber Corporation Cup, the KC Cup. Boom. Oh, and we also got Tour Guide. How you doing, lovely? It is good to see you. Let's also get what is your rewards for doing the KC Cup and stuff, because obviously in order to use Tour Guide you gotta do all those things. It looks like it's a field spell, but I already have Power Zone because I randomly chose it, because it's one of those ones that you can only get. I think the only way you can normally get it is if you progress ironically through enough of the PvP's arenas and get like a super rare ticket. Now, anyways, as you can see on the top here, we do have currencies next to my gems. So I've just clicked on crystals. So crystals are required to purchase card packs, accessories, and other items in the shop. So for one purchase, oh my goodness gracious me! So it looks like for so this is what we're gonna look at everything to kind of start with, but let's have a look at it. So for 350 gems, because it's technically if you have a look at this here, it is technically 250 gems plus 100. So you get one limit of that, and that's £3.09. If you have a look down here next to after the 50, you've got a 260 with a free 10 gems. So it's technically 260 gems for £3.09. So instead of 350, which is the 250, so you actually get the same amount of gems, but you get 100 less. You only get 10 in this one, so you get 90 more. So it's 350, if that makes sense. Then that's £3.09. Now obviously it starts to really rack up, so you get 500 crystals here, and then 30 for free. 100, 1,000 gems is worth 80. Sorry, with 83, but it's worth £12.49. The most expensive crystal pack is 5,000 gems with an additional 750. Why they chose 750, I have no idea. but it's worth 61 quid. Let's round it up so it's worth 61 quid, because some of these are weird where it's like 24.50 and 12.50. I'd round them out, so it's like technically 610, 310, 69, which is a really funny number, but 70. But yeah, that's how much your crystals are worth. So there is a crystal page, and obviously you'll see how many crystals. Now what's interesting about that is any person from now on, you know who's spent money, because unless they spend all their gems, so it goes back to zero, you'll see who's actually spent money. So that's kind of funny. Now in the missions, we still get the logins, so we still get the box chips, we have a lifetime. Oh, visit the purchase. Okay, so I didn't purchase any gems, but I visited the page. You get 10 free gems. So that's actually a cool little thing I didn't know about. So there you go. If you visit the page, you get 10. Oh, it looks like the recommended's gone. Now, I don't know if anybody's seen this, but I did show a screenshot where it showed that I had this weird, and I couldn't, like, because I'd click on this and nothing would come up, and it was like this weird quest. It must have been that. It must have been implementing the visit the gems and you get 10 for free. I reckon that's what it was. Now, let's look at Wing of Genesis Speed Duel. Let's just look at the latest box. This is the latest box. Now, here we go. So, in order to get 10 packs and also 100 of the whatevers, because it's the deal, it requires 400 gems. Now keep that number in mind, 400 gems. So how, oh, there's the page there. No, I don't want to do that. Let's just retry. Okay, so 400 gems. Remember that, 400 gems. So in order to even remotely get 10 packs, you would have to spend £6, 9 quid for the 530, because it was 400 gems for 10 packs. So let's keep that in mind. That's the KC tournament. That's not where we want to go. Okay. I kind of wish we had it side by side. Actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Right, this is what I'm going to do. Right. So this is the list. This is everything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly take a snipping tool, snip and sketch. And we're just going to take that, and boom. So you'll be able to see this kind of alongside me when I do it in the post video, but this is useful for me to look at right now. Okay, so I've got that next to me on the other screen, so let's have a gander. So what if I wanted to spend big bucks? Like if I wanted to spend 30 packs, so 30 packs for example is 1,500 gems. So in order to even remotely do that, so 30 packs, you would have to spend £24.49. Now obviously I'm UK, so it's UK currency, just to keep that in mind. That may not fluctuate depending on the country you're in, but you would have to spend £24.49 to get 2,000 gems, and then you get an extra 200, so it's 2,200. So that gives you 1,500, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 2,001, 2. So it gives you 700 leftovers. You can buy about another 10 packs with that, but you can't then purchase another 5 because it requires 50. So 5 packs basically is not even an option here. So 5 packs minimum, you would have to spend £3.9. So that's kind of interesting there. You'd have to spend £3.9 just to even get 5 packs. I'm going to be personally sticking to gems. Gems, I hope, as long as gems keep coming, as long as gems are like a currency that you can just keep getting, level up, get all that type of stuff, I'm happy with that. But if we get to a point where gems are really frugal, we're going to have a big issue. Let's look then at structure decks. So that's boxes. Let's look at decks. So Hope of the Universe is the newest box. So how much is a box worth? So one deck is 200. Okay, so £3.9, you know, you can get a box. or 1,000 gems. So that's not bad. I'd have to look at what was the original prices. I wish I'd have to look at a previous video and have a quick look to see if I can find original prices, because I'd love to know what the original, how much currencies were worth. I really should have done that, so we could have looked at the before and the after. So we've got obviously things like backgrounds, customization options, even you know, other things. Let's look at an older deck actually as well. Let's look. So for example, let's look. So Draconic Force was the first box. So it's still worth 200 gems. It's not like there's a sale on because it's an older box or anything like that. Obviously there's some things that are in a sale, so you'll be able to get some things maybe a little bit cheaper, but not by a whole lot. So yeah, as you can see here, because there's a sale going on, worth 100, you know, which is 10 packs. So effectively you would want to spend, it's like £1 odd. It's like 70 and 70. Let's round it up to 70p each. So it's about £1.40. Gets you like 100. So then you'd be able to get the 10 packs, just as an example, because that's like a sale item. Now let's look at regular inventory. Okay, so for more Vagabond, so all this stuff costs money. All this stuff costs money. I didn't even realize you had to spend money for the Chronicle slots. That's actually something I didn't even realize. So that's actually kind of interesting. And it's separated for speed and rush. That's wild. I didn't even know that was a thing. Okay, so if you wanted to buy more Vagrants, for example, it's about worth 100. Also the same for standard duelists. Also the same for the Master Gate Key. Which allows you for 30 minutes to actually spend duel people without spending your gate keys. That's kind of a pointless item, because you get to a point where you've got all the cards, because that's all you're really playing it for. Now let's look at customization. Okay, so obviously, are some of these going to be the same, or are they going to be different? Or are they all just literally just flat out like, okay, yes, there is a difference. So some of them are like worth 100. So like these sleeves, for example, they're worth like 100 each. But you get to a point where it's then 75. Now you still can't even afford, because 50 is the lowest. So 75, you still can't even buy like sleeves or anything. But I'd rather just use my gems at that point if I'm going to buy it. I mean, obviously some of them you have to, unfortunately, purchase using this currency, which I think really sucks, but there we go. I think what they should do is open up a pathway so that it makes it both options, like make it so like for example this is worth 100 crystals, but then you should also then have an option for 100 gems. This one is like worth 75, so you get 75 gems or 75, you know, product. So like just that, for example. So I was just going to see if there was like any, because we're getting to the point where a lot of these are like way older sleeves, like way older sleeves. So I was just curious to see. Nah, so they're pretty much still worth like 75 is the cheapest. So these are worth 200. Flippin' heck, Chronicle ones are worth 400 crystals or 500 gems. What's 400 crystals? So you'd have to spend about the £6 one or two. Nah, it wouldn't even be worth. Would it be worth? Hang on, let's calculate this. So it's 260 and 260. That gets you, so 400, and so it's 460, then 520 plus the two extras. It might be worth getting two 399s. Sorry, 309s at that point, because looking at the calculator, because obviously you get 530 gems, so you get 530 gems, baseman. Let me just get a calculator. Let me just why am I trying to figure this out in my brain when I can just use a calculator? Be lazy. Okay, so 260. Let's make sure. So yeah, so 2.60 plus 10. So obviously, no, I've done that wrong. No, that's right. So 260, right, plus 260. So 260 and 260, yeah, it was the 520. Then you obviously get the 10 free. So plus the additional 20, because, whoops, get the additional 20, because you get 10 apiece, so you get 540 gems. So I was about right, my math was correct, but I wanted to double check it. So it is just about cheaper, although it's not, because it's 309, and then, so 2 309s would be £6.18 for 10. Yeah, for 10 extra crystals, you have to spend 18p for 10 extra crystals. That's pretty funny to me. But there we go. I'll keep the calculator just in case. Now, obviously, it's not worth for some of these because, obviously, okay, so the cheapest ones are going to be about 150, and just 150 gems at that point. But flip me, if you wanted to, like, a proper, like, some of the nicer mats, whoo, you best be ready to spend some money. Whoo, flippin' heck. Okay. So, in terms of the home backgrounds, let's have a look at home backgrounds. I've never even dabbled with home backgrounds, because I gotta be honest, these things look just garbage. Like, have you actually seen what they look like? Like, that's the forest one, and I'm like, like, it just looks off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's like a Duel Academy. Like, they've only got, like, GX mostly. Like, there is one here, which is Zexal. But, like, you can do it so it's the background only. It just looks off to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather just keep the regular background. Like, this looks so much better. I've always said that. This just looks better. Like, don't get me wrong. It's cool that you can press the home button and you can see all these things. And I do think that's kind of cool. Oh, I didn't know you could do it that way. There we go. Bring back Zuzu. But yeah, I much prefer, like, just seeing everything, like, just the classic. Much better, in my personal opinion. Let's look, because there's the season pass as well that we haven't covered. So that, I'm guessing, is in special. Yeah, so you got bundles and we got the season pass. So let's look at the bundles first, actually, because bundles are, like, actually fairly decent. So if you wanted, for example, oh my goodness me. So if you wanted the Breaker the Magical Warrior alternative art, you have to spend, there's no other option for this, you have to spend 1,000 gems on this item, and this is until the 14th of October, so if you wanted 1,000 gems, you would have to spend, I kid you not, £12.49 for this. So what this does, this gives you an icon, or is it a plain mat? I'm not sure what that is. That could be a, okay, so Breaker is the icon, this is a playmat. So you get that as a playmat, you get the alternative artwork of Breaker the Magical Warrior, looking like he belongs in an art gallery, which looks really sick. And then you also get the latest box. But that's worth 1,000 gems. So that would be, literally, I kid you not, you'd have to spend $12.49 on that. That's insane. Obviously, again, depending on your currency, but for us, for UK people, it's $12.49. Obviously, I'm not sure what the dollar's currency is. I'd love to know that type of stuff as well. So, in order to get certain cards, so let's look at, like, Heretic Seal. You know, it requires 450, so you may as well spend, I think we established, like, you may as well just get the £6.9. It's only a difference between, like, literally 18p. And you get 10 extra crystals, but you would get, you know, those. Or if you want to, unfortunately, waste your gems, 950. Is it still lame? Is it still 17? Yeah, so you only get 17, so they skimp you on 3 packs, which I think is cheeky. But yeah, I wish it was the full 20. It'd make it more worth it. Now, the Duelist Pass is something I've never used. I've never purchased this thing. Oh, and it's still either 500 gems or 250 crystals. So that's for 30 days. Or for 90 days, 1,500 gems, 750. And then you get, like, the latest packs and stuff for both speed and rush, which is interesting to me. But then, yeah, you get music, so you can change. You know, you can change stuff. Yeah, you can play all sorts. depending on which one you buy, you also get some skill chips. So yeah, you're either spending 750, which, what would be the closest to that? Yeah, the 1249 is technically the closest, or 250 for 30 days. So for a month, 250. What would that be worth? 309 for 30 days. Like, you know what I mean? I guess, like, the only thing it really does is it gives you music features. I find it hilarious it gives you a background feature, but yeah. But there's also a trial. I've never even used the trial, because I'm just not, like, no offense, I'm just not interested in it. Okay, so what is there anything else now purchased with crystals? Oh no, so that's literally just bringing us back here. So you can basically either go to the crystals page on the main page, you can go to the crystals page here on the top, or you can go on purchase with crystals, and that will all take you to the crystals page. So it's like technically 3 ways of getting to crystals, because you can either just click on it here. Actually, what's interesting here is it shows record of crystals, so you can see the record for the last 3 months. Oh, and you can then see, obviously it's like the previous days, which I find really weird because this has only now been implemented. So why would it show previous months when you can't even buy tickets at crystals? That's so super weird. But yeah, that's actually really funny to me. Yeah, I think we've pretty much covered everything about the crystal situation. Obviously, like I said, I'm not planning to buy crystals anytime soon. Unless you make them cheaper, which they're not gonna do. Let's face it, they're not gonna do that. I don't know if they match. That's the one thing I'd love to know. Do crystals match the original prices of stuff? That, you know, so if you bought a box, is that worth the 60 quid? Is that worth the equivalent? We'd have to double check and fact check that, because if it's more or less, then, you know, obviously we're not interested. But if it's less, then I'd say, oh, fair enough. But if it's more expensive because you have to buy the crystals, then that's absolutely bonkers to me. Again, as long as they just don't mess with gems, that's because to me gems is the currency. That's the currency of the game, and if you mess with the currency of the game, like, you're just gonna absolutely turn off more people 100%. Now, what's interesting to me is it doesn't really show how many coins you got unless you get over to here. So as you can see, I've got like 5-1 and a whole load of zeros. So did I do this? Oh yes, I did do this. Yeah, I did that. That's fair. I thought I did, because I wanted to make sure I finished off the event. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap up this video. It's a nice kind of short little video. I thought it'd be interesting to kind of have a look at just crystals in general and just see how much they are, what they're worth. Just looking at them gets you 10 free gems. So if nothing else, there's a fun little fact for you. Get your free 10 gems. You don't even have to spend anything to get extra gems. I wonder if there is a mission, a lifetime mission to buy gems. I wouldn't be surprised. Is there a filter? So there's, yeah, let's just look at specific gems and see what it is. So obviously we have characters. So I got a lot of characters I need to get to level 30, to be fair. Still on my list. I'm working on them very slowly. I'm working on them. We'll get there eventually. But I'm curious to see if there's one just for specifically logging in or buying. So there's login for under 1,000 days, which I'm only 6 days away from, which is pretty awesome. And I get 100 gems for that. Very nice. But yeah, no, there's nothing else here. Yeah, it's mostly just level 30s. Okay, yeah, so you get 10 free gems just looking at it, which I think was what the bugged one I had. So that's interesting. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content like this one. And as always, play on, peeps. Take care, guys. It was great to see you, and we'll see you again in the next video. Bye!